We're almost a quarter of the way through the NBA season, so why not grade the rookies already? Is it a little bit early to start grading NBA rookies? Of course it is, but you know what? We're gonna do it anyway today. Does it tell a complete story? Absolutely not. No, it doesn't. There's a long season ahead. A lot of things can change. And look, I don't even feel comfortable grading rookies like a year into their NBA career. You always hear me say, by the end of the second year, that's when I want to start to see something being built, and then I can really, truly start evaluating people. But you know what? This is the internet. We like to react to things. That's how it is. So I went and I made a tier list right here, and I figure, about 20 games into the season, how do we feel about all these rookies? Obviously, at the top, we got A. I've got over here. Maybe I should call it meh. I don't know. This is for people that just haven't really played up to this point. So that's how the tier list works. I've got these in no particular order, yet they kind of look like they're in a particular order for some reason. I just uploaded all of the images and they came out in this order. So I have no idea. By the way, whatever I rate these guys, right? Like, let's say I give somebody an F, because some people are going to get an F. That does not mean, I can't be more clear about this, because I know there'll be a comment or two. And you know what? If it's you, fair enough, whatever, you're helping the algorithm. But anyway, if I give them a bad rating, that doesn't mean I don't think they could be good down the line or anything like that. I give up on nobody for at least 2-3 seasons. That's just how I feel about things. So take your time, we'll go through this, we'll evaluate everybody, and I hope all of them succeed. I guess another thing to keep in mind as well is that, like, we also have to have some perspective with all of these, because if somebody wasn't expected to come in and do a ton, that's a bit different than somebody that maybe did have some expectations on them. And WAAAY here is probably a prime example of that, right? Like, first overall pick. Right now, did we think he was going to be an absolute superstar? Maybe some of you did. I don't imagine many of you did, though. So for WAAAY, like, I'm going to put him at like a C for now. I think that's a comfortable place for me to put him. Like, the numbers don't look great right now. Like, he's getting you double-digit scoring. It's not efficient at all. Again, efficiency, I don't care too much about as a rookie. He's starting to trend downwards, honestly, a little bit for me, as I'm seeing him make a few more, like, mistakes, like reading defenses and stuff like that. But overall, I'm not tripping about it too much, because I didn't expect him to be, like, an absolute stud. I figured he'd be like starter level good right away, though, so that's why I kind of have him as a C. Like, it's like, okay, are you even at expectation? Maybe that's how I should look at it. Like, should C be expectations? That's probably fair. So maybe he's a little bit below expectations for me, so I'm moving him down to a D already. I think that that's probably fair, because I figured he'd be a little bit more polished than what he is now. So WAAAY, he gets a D. Cody Williams now. Cody Williams, I knew was going to be raw. I knew it was going to take a little bit of time for him to get going. He has not been very good at all. Defensively, I'm not overly impressed. I don't think he's like bad on that side of the court. Offensively, he can't do anything on the basketball court right now, and that's unfortunate. It looks rough out there for him. Like I said, he's going to need some time to develop. We kind of needed that. I didn't think he'd be this rough, though, so that's unfortunate. The Jazz are one of the better teams at like taking their time with talent, and like I know they're gonna probably treat him well in that sense, and they'll give him the utmost chances to find that success. But overall, it's been pretty bleh so far. So sorry, Cody Williams. Sorry, Matas Buzelis from my Chicago Bulls. How should I feel about Buzelis? Because I wasn't extremely high coming in. I was like, I think he's going to struggle to create for himself. He's been pretty good defensively so far, at least in my opinion. He's playing with some good energy. I kind of want to put him at a C, because again, he's pretty much exactly where I pictured him to be. He's not even in like the top 15 for rookie in scoring, but I'm like, he doesn't have the ability to create or anything. That's what I tried to tell some people like during the offseason, because I saw people being like, he can handle, he can shoot. I'm like, not really. Like, he couldn't shoot in the G League, and I'm like, I think his handle's pretty weak, all said and done. But overall, I love the energy that he's playing with. He did have like a solid game the other night, which was cool. I like the athleticism. That's cool. Defensively, dude's playing well. He's keeping his feet solid, right? Keeping his hands up. Cool. So I'm comfortable with Matas at a C. I wouldn't be surprised if he starts to get a few more minutes as the season goes on with the Bulls, especially if they sell some people, and they really should. Wink, wink, Chicago Bulls. Please find a way to do it. I know it's hard, but please. I I can't. And then we'll cover all of our bases here with like Nikola Topic and Devin Carter, who just have not played this season due to injuries, so they get to go in So far, not so great for the rookie class. We'll see how this looks by the end of it, though. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment, by the way. I respond to every single comment on my YouTube channel, so if you leave one, I will respond. By the way, go join the Discord. Links is always in the description for that. We're always having a good time chatting it up on there, so go join. Bub Carrington, Carlton Carrington. How do we feel about Bub Carrington so far? He's on the Wizards. He's a rookie point guard, so that's already two things going against you. That's just making your career a lot harder, right? Overall, I don't feel like he's been bad. Like, I know the efficiency's not that great. He's been trying from three. I feel like he's at like league average or something from three. But now Brogdon's back, so he's not getting as many minutes, and that's fine. Like, he shouldn't have been like starting and stuff, but they had to for obvious reasons. They couldn't let Jordan Poole just run point guard on this team. I don't know. I'd probably put him in the same place as Buzelis, where it's like, yeah, rookie point guard. He makes a lot of rookie point guard mistakes. I haven't seen anything that I absolutely like love out of the kid yet, and that's totally fine. Like, there's still a lot of time to develop some things. I just don't really know what his like niche is in the NBA. I'm like, what are we trying to do with him? What are we trying to make him into? I don't know what the plan is for him. If you guys have some ideas or some development charts that you think make some sense for him, let me know. But for the time being, I don't see much out of him. But again, he's probably right in line for where I thought he would be. So fair enough. Khalil Ware, I still don't remember how to say it. He doesn't really get any burn with Miami, and that's surprising to me, to say the least. Like, I knew going in that it would probably take Ware a little bit to get going, right? Because it took him a little bit of time in college to get going. So I'm like, okay, this is a guy that takes a little bit to learn things, and then he'll figure it out, especially in Miami. But considering the other, like, young players are playing over him, that's a little disappointing. It's not like they have another true center on the team, like Kevin Love has been doing it, and, you know, K-Love does his thing. But I'd probably say he falls into the D for now. I'd say he's a little bit below expectations because it's not like there's a clear person in front of him for the rotation spot that he should have. Obviously, Bam's the starter, but I don't know. I think Ware could contribute a little bit more. I thought he looked a little bit indecisive in like preseason and summer league and stuff, which, like, whatever. Who even gives a shit about that? But I don't know. I think he's probably a bit below where I expected him to be so far. Again, not the best start here, but we're on to two people that should move us up a little bit. So Jared McCain obviously goes up in an A. He's probably rookie of the year at this point. We did a whole breakdown video on him last week. Pretty interesting stuff. Obviously hitting some very cool shots that I did not expect him to be able to really convert at the NBA level. The creation skills are better than where I thought they would be as well. So I'd say he's definitely exceeded expectations all around. Defensively, still struggling a decent amount, and there's still a lot of times where he's making a lot of rookie mistakes. He doesn't really see the floor very well. But look, this is a rookie at the end of the day, right? Like, it's when I say these bad things about him, it's because I'm coaching, right? And I want him to get better at these things. It's not like hate or anything. I just try to clarify that because y'all on the internet don't always get that sometimes. But anyway, Jared McCain's been awesome. Phenomenal rookie stuff, especially because he's had to play point guard at times with like Maxey down, and I didn't think he could necessarily play that, and I still wouldn't do that long term, but we're starting to see the Maxey-McCain combo. It's not too bad. Not too bad. He did have a pretty rough efficiency game. I think it was last night. I think he went like 1 for 9 or something, but whatever. Obviously, Dalton Connect also going to go in A, probably second or third for rookie of the year stuff right now. Connect is just, he's looked like he's fit in and then some. Like, I kind of figured he'd slide into whatever team he was on and be solid right off the bat, but he's been more than that. He's had some pretty solid outbursts in scoring already defensively. He seems fine out there. He's just meshing with the team really, really well. So Dalton Connect, awesome, right? That's exactly where we want to see him. Tristan Da Silva. Well, he is starting. Obviously, it's because of injuries and everything, and the efficiency hasn't been great, and I kind of figured right away he'd at least be efficient because he's a bit of an older guy, but he's also not making like many like rookie mistakes out there, which again, I kind of anticipated that. So I kind of want to put Da Silva like right at expectations for that because, like, look, is he starting already and he's not like making things worse? Yeah, that's great. That's great for a rookie in it of itself. But again, I did expect him to be, I don't know, a little more efficient than some of the other guys. And again, do I care about efficiency like long term and everything right now? Am I worried about it? No, I think he'll be fine. I'm not tripping about it by any means. It's just like, I don't know. I expect a little bit more out of the older players. But again, he's playing with some injured teammates and stuff right now, or more so his injured teammates aren't playing. And so, he gets to see the starters a little bit more. They're going to be a little bit better defensively because of that, right? So he's at a slight disadvantage that way. Also, like, the Magic don't really have anybody that's taking a lot of attention off of anybody else, so that's a struggle. But I'll put him at expectations. I think that's fair. All right, now we got Jacoby Walter, who he just straight up doesn't really play. What has he played in, like 3 or 4 games or something like that? And he's averaging like 1 point. So I would say, like, look, I didn't expect him to play much, right? I'm debating whether or not we just put him in but like he's not unhealthy, right? So I feel like that's kind of different, or like a second round pick that just hasn't had a chance to play. If you're a first round pick, you should have an expectation that you can get into the rotation, unless you're like on unless you're one of like the last 3 or 4 picks of the first round, would be my thought. So Jacoby Walter, do I want to put him in like a D, or do I want to put him in like an F? You know what? We're going to put him in an F because other Raptors rookies are playing more. And given they're more mature ones, right? They're a little bit older than him, but no, I think Jacoby Walter should go right there. Alex Sarr. I'm going to throw Sarr straight into C. And I know some of you are instantly going, he's in C, why isn't he in like D and F? And, whatever, shut up. But Sarr's pretty much exactly where I expected him to be in his rookie career. Offensively, was going to struggle. He has no creators on the team or I should say no people to like set him up. On the Washington Wizards, they run just nonsense stuff all the time. We all know how dysfunctional this team is, and he doesn't create, right? He doesn't create for himself, so that was never going to be a thing for him. But defensively, he's been everything I expected him to be, and I think he's been really good at it. His rotation, his instincts, all look great. So awesome. He's pretty much exactly where I expected him to be. I still think he can be a starting center for the future for this team. It's just, the Wizards tend to ruin people, so is what it is. Let's move on to Jalen Tyson here, who I'm gonna put him, he doesn't really get any burn, but there's a lot of good players on his team. I'm gonna put him at a D for the sake of him. He was a first round pick, right? When he is on the court, it's not beautiful right now, because again, I personally am not high on him because I feel like he needs to have the ball all the time, and he's never gonna really get to have the ball in the NBA because he's not good enough to be like an NBA ball handler. So I don't know, I think his usefulness on the court at an NBA level just isn't that great. But I can't fault him too much because, again, there's a lot of talent in front of him on the team, but Strus is out as well. So I don't know. There's other guys on the team, and he doesn't get in a ton. So a little bit below average, right? I think that's appropriate. Yves Missy. Okay, so Yves Missy, probably more than any other like rookie like in this draft, had an opportunity to play, right? Because they just had no centers on the team, right? And he's gotten in, and like he hasn't been bad. Like, he's not great either. I don't know. Like, is he going to be a long-term starting center for them? Maybe. I find that a little bit hard to believe. I just don't think he's got like that kind of upside. Again, I see him as like a slightly worse Clint Capella type of guy, but I feel like I kind of have to put him in B because he's not looking like horrible out there, and he's in a horrible situation. I feel like he should get credit for that, because obviously like their first like 8-9 guys in the rotation are injured right on any given night, and so he's just has to be out there playing with guys that are hardly NBA level players to begin with, and he's not playing bad, so I think that's fair. Deron Holmes, obviously injured to start this season, or he got hurt at the very, very start of preseason, or summer league even. So it's just what it is. AJ Johnson. This pick pissed me off so much. Like, this kid's nowhere close to being ready to playing in the NBA, and I don't know why they took him with a first round pick when there were other guys that could have helped the Bucks win. Like, right now they could have gone and got Ryan Dunn or something like that to help them win. So I guess the expectations weren't very high, but he still doesn't play, and he's a first round pick, so I'm treating him like Jalen Tyson. D. That's what I have to say about him. Keyshawn George. Okay, so obviously he's one of the rookies that's leading in scoring along with the other Wizards. I don't like watching Keyshawn George play very much, because his thing is he handles the ball a little bit. He never goes anywhere with the basketball, though, and it's like, that was my fears. I'm like, I don't think he's a good enough ball handler to do it at an NBA level. I don't know about long-term either. I don't see, a great instinct for it or anything. He's getting some shots up, and that's cool. It's not very efficient. But he's getting a lot of playing time, and he's on the Wizards. So I don't know. I kind of want to put him a little bit below the other two, because Carrington at least looks like he's trying to play competent basketball. I don't think Keyshawn George really knows what he's doing out there, and Sarr's pretty good on defense. So I think I'm going to put him in a D tier here. Pacome Daddier. I don't know. He doesn't play much. He's on a really, really good basketball team. So I feel like this is one of those where you get C tier just because it's like, okay, he wasn't going to play much anyway, right? Dylan Jones. Is this kind of the same thing, right? Like he's not going to get a ton of opportunity. Really, really good team, kind of end of the first round level pick. I thought this pick was weird to begin with, but I can't blame him for not getting on the court. There's too many good players on that team, so that's where I'm going to put him as well. Terrence Shannon Jr. Okay, so this one's interesting, right? Because expectations were not high from the general population on Terrence Shannon Jr. You guys all know, though, I'm very high on this guy. It's funny, a lot of the like highlights that I see and stuff, or highlight channels that I'll follow on like YouTube or something, they'll post like NBA highlights and stuff. Some of them are starting to post Terrence Shannon highlights in the G League, just being like, this dude's just killing everybody in the G League. And I don't know why. I'm like, why won't the Timberwolves play him? Like they moved Dillingham up. I would have rather them given Terrence Shannon a shot. I don't know. Kind of bothers me to some extent, but obviously he's not playing, so I guess my expectations are not being met, but it's not necessarily his fault. Like there are good players in front of him. I don't know. I just think he could be better. So for that reason, I give him a D. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if you want to put him higher for the same reason of like Dylan Jones and Daddier and those dudes. So is what it is. Ryan Dunn. Overall, I'm going to put Ryan Dunn in a B for right now. And the reason for that is, like, I know the efficiency's starting to fall off and everything. Durant and Beal are out. And, like, man, they're asking him to do a decent amount without those guys out there. It's a pretty rough roster. Outside of that, he's got to play quite a lot of minutes. And we all knew that he wasn't the most gifted offensively. Defensively, he's been really, really good. So I would say he's exceeded expectations for even having spurts of it so far. So that's what I have to say. Isaiah Collier, is he like winking in this? What the hell is going on here? Oh no, it just looked really weird for some reason. I couldn't quite figure out why, but Isaiah Collier goes in an F as well. Sorry, Jazz fans. I didn't see the talent with this kid in the sense that how does this translate to the NBA? Because I'm like, he can't read a college defense. He can't shoot at all. It turns the ball over a ton. He's playing point guard. He's kind of a weird size and shape to play this position. It has not looked good in the NBA so far. Could it change? Yeah, because he is an interesting build and a pretty good athlete and stuff. It's just he's shooting like 6% from three, and I'm not exaggerating that. It's bad, and like he looks lost out there. So little bit concerned for him there. So yeah, we're gonna put Collier down in the F. Reed Shepherd. How do I want to evaluate this one? Because I feel like general population thought Reed Shepherd was going to be a lot better than what we've seen so far. He's shooting above average from three. That's good, right? It's all on catch and shoot. The ball handling, not quite there right now. Off-ball defense looks pretty good. He gets his hands on people and stuff. We all knew that, right? He's going to poke out some steals and get some sneaky blocks and stuff from people that aren't looking. On-ball defense is atrocious, right? Like, it's not even his fault. He's just small. It's what I tried to tell you guys. People are going to bully this dude. And that's why he can't stay on the court very long, right? Despite them not having like any shooting on the team. So I don't know, like I feel like he's met my expectations. So that's kind of where I want to put Reed Shepherd. Is that a C? That's where I'll put him. He's met expectations for a third overall pick. It's unfortunate that he was, well, is it? Because was there anybody really any better? Not necessarily. So I put him at a C for that reason, just because, like, yes, he was the number 3 overall pick. We all should have known that this was probably the level of production we'll get. I hope things increase for him. I mean, if someone goes down or something, obviously he'll get the call, but is what it is. Baylor Shireman doesn't really get a chance to play, but he's not injured, so I guess I put him in C. Do I even do that? Because he's pretty much a second round pick, right? So I'm just gonna put him in like the meh or the column for now, because it's like he's not gonna get on the court anyway. Jonathan Magbo over here for the Toronto Raptors. Where do I put him? Because expectations were weird with this one. Like, I had no idea what to expect with this guy. No clue at all. Like, he's such an interesting type of player. And, you know, he's gotten a lot of burn because of injuries early on. Like, he's even started, like, a game or two or something like that. He's not been very efficient, but he's been pretty active and involved in the games. So I kind of want to give him, like, a B for that. It doesn't mean that he's, like, good, right? Like, this should all be made clear, right? Like, just because Yves Missy is ahead right here in comparison to Alex Sarr doesn't mean that Yves Missy is better than Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr is a better basketball player. It's just we're going off of like expectations and draft and things like that. Hopefully you guys are smart and can put 2 and 2 together, right? But I know not all of you listen to all the video, and you should, because watch time is important for me. That's the only reason I care. But anyway, so Mogbo, what do I do with Mogbo? I'm curious to hear what you guys think about him. Like, he's not down here, that's for sure. Like, is he at expectations or above expectations? I don't know, because he hasn't like been crushing it. So let's just say he's at expectations, right? Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Filipowski, he starts, and yeah, that's cool. He doesn't like do anything on the basketball court, though. He's hit some open threes because people haven't guarded him. So that's kind of where expectations were for me. So there you go, Jazz fans. There's your rookies. Yeah. That's a tough one this year. Tyler Smith, he doesn't really get to play at all, so he gets to go there. Tyler Kolek, he doesn't really get to play at all, so he goes there. Johnny Furphy's been starting to play a little bit. How much burn has he actually gotten so far? I feel like I need to look that up to evaluate this. Johnny Furphy has played in 9 games. How many minutes is he getting? He's getting 9 minutes, scoring almost 3 points a game, so pretty much he's just hitting a 3, right? He's shooting 1 3 a game. He's hitting a third of them. Cool. Okay, so you know what, like, for where he was drafted and everything, and I was a bit higher on Johnny Furphy. I thought he should have been a first-round pick in this class just because I like the energy he plays with and everything. Like, I can't give him any higher than a C for 2 points a game, but I'd say Johnny Furphy is meeting expectations. I think that's fair. Got a couple other dudes not playing, don't really care. Clement, Nunez, blah, 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 blah. AJ Mitchell has sneakily been playing a ton of basketball, hasn't he? He has been sneakily playing a lot of basketball for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't know how they keep making this stuff work, but they do. That's probably more of a knock on Dylan Jones, actually, because Dylan Jones is also a ball handler, and that's what they use him for. I'm going to move Dylan Jones down a little bit. That's what just happened with him, because AJ Mitchell here, been pretty solid. I'm going to give him a B. Like, I know all of his, like, efficiencies, pretty solid right now, not turning the ball over too much. That's hard to do, young point guard in the NBA. So I want to give credit to that. Like, he's not playing an absurd amount of minutes, but he's playing smart out there. So happy to see that. Jalen Wells here, our other rookie of the year candidate right now, 2nd round pick on a team that they didn't have many wings at all, so he got an opportunity to play. He's been using it, right? 3-and-D dude, not creating a ton for himself, but not making a ton of mistakes. Awesome, right? Grizzlies, you might have found a good one in here. Maybe this doesn't turn into a Zaire Smith situation. Maybe you get to actualize on some of the potential here. That'd be cool. Stephon Castle. Okay, I would say Stephon Castle is like right in line with where my expectations have been this year. I kind of figured around like 8 to 9 points per game going into this season. Like, he'll get some assists because he can see the court well. I think he's going to be okay defensively. He's going to play with some energy, but I knew he wasn't going to be efficient, right? And that's totally fine. And he's been pretty poor efficiency-wise, right? And that's okay, right? It's okay. People are going to let him shoot. He's not going to make it right now. Hopefully, he'll get better as things move on, because really, like, the shooting was like, that's it. Like, he can do a lot of other things. He can handle the rock, and given it's at a rookie level right now, but he can handle the rock pretty solidly for a rookie. Where's he going to fit in long-term with this team? I'm not completely sure, but I think he's got the culture to fit in with the Spurs, so you know what? Fair enough. Oso Ighodaro up next, who's actually gotten some burn at sometimes. He's going to get a C as well, because again, he's not doing a ton. The off-ball passing, or the on-ball passing has actually been pretty good from him when they put him up in kind of the hub spot, up by the nail, which is kind of cool to see. Offensively, though, he doesn't do much else outside of that, and sometimes he plays over Mason Plumlee, so good for him. That's cool. Bona, he doesn't get to play. KJ Simpson doesn't get to play. Jerzic doesn't get to play. What is this motherfucker's name? Pell. I think it's Pell. I've heard Pell and Pele Larson for the Heat. Sneaky Heat players, man. Sneaky Heat players, always making stuff work. So Larson, he's gonna get a B. He's been getting some decent burn for them. He's been hitting his shots for the most part. I don't know if he's anything more than that going forward in the NBA, but I certainly didn't expect him to be getting this until he got drafted by the Heat, to which I said, I'm sure this guy will find his way onto the court somehow this year. I don't know much about him, but there he is, right? So hitting some shots for the Heat, getting some playing time, not looking bad. Good for him, right? Good for him. All right, Jamal Sheed here for the Toronto Raptors. Been playing a ton, again, because of injuries and stuff like that. pretty inefficient, probably not NBA level player quite yet. At the end of the day, you're playing and you're not playing great, so I'm probably going to put you at a D. It's not like your expectations were that high anyway, but you're not doing much on the court, so got to give it to you there. Christie here. This is Cam Christie. Yeah, Max Christie's on the Lakers. I worked out with this guy not too long ago, but Cam Christie, cool. Yeah, he doesn't get to play. Antonio Reeves here for the Pelicans. Where do I put him? Because he's not playing very much, right? Like, he's getting some burn now because of all the injuries and everything, and he scores sometimes. It's not anything crazy, but he's hitting the shots that he is taking right now, and he's a scorer, right? That's what he's supposed to do. So, C. You get a C. It's not anything to blow me out the water, but is what it is. Harrison Ingram, meh. That's the best you're gonna get. Freeman, or not Freeman, what the hell is your name? I can't even remember. I think it's Tristan Newton. I think it is. He's like number 4, right? Yeah, Tristan Newton. That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. I'm good. It's Monday. All right, relax. He doesn't get to play. And let's just throw in Ray K. Freeman in there too, because he doesn't really get to play. And Ajinça here, because he's overseas. Quentin Post doesn't play. Okay, that's good. Ron Holland. He's been... Okay, so here's the thing, right? Some people thought Ron Holland was going to be pretty solid right away. He's been like exactly what I expected him to be, which is bad. So how do I rate that? Is he exactly where I expected him to be, or do I have to rate him poorly because he's bad? I think, look, you know what? I'm going to give him a D because dude hustles his ass off. You know what? Hustling pays off, and it gets you into the rotation. It also gets you higher on AVC's tier list. I can swallow that. I was going to say I swallowed the D, but you know what? That was going to get clipped and put somewhere on the internet, and I don't want that to be on the internet. So even though I don't edit clearly enough to cut this out. So is what it is. Ron Holland does not understand how to play basketball right now. It's totally fine. Hopefully he learns on the Detroit Pistons. Not so sure that's going to happen, right? He's playing with some other guys that can't shoot the basketball. I can tell where he's going as soon as he crosses half court. The IQ just isn't there right now. He's playing hard, though, and that's awesome. Not shooting well at all, though. Very inefficient. It's rough. The Pistons should have never picked him. They've given him no shot at success in the NBA, it feels like, and I hope that's not true. It's just, I hate that pick so much. Cam Spencer here for the Grizzlies. He's been mostly hurt, and he's gotten in a little bit and spaced the floor a little bit, so he gets a C, just because it's like, okay, yeah, that's expectations. You've been kind of hurt, so is what it is. Moving on, we got Anton over here. He doesn't play. Bronny James. I forgot I was gonna have to cover Bronny James. I haven't heard about him in a second. He's exactly what I expected him to be right now. I wish people would just stop talking about it so much and just kind of let the dude hoop. But, you know, people got to talk about somebody, I guess. And that's the thing with having a young kid in the NBA and you're the kid of LeBron James. He hasn't been good. I haven't expected him to be good this year. So you go in a D. Because, again, the expectations shouldn't have been very high. And if you said otherwise, you're I don't know, there's something incorrect in your brain. But, I don't know. Bronny's had some interesting moments. I think long-term he can be an NBA player. It's just going to take some time. So, whatever. Kevin McCullough doesn't play. Ulrich doesn't play. Ariel Huck-Porty. I love Huck-Porty. I know Tom Thibodeau loves this guy, too. Last pick of the draft. Big man. Does not score the basketball. Not at all. But gets rebounds, plays hard. You were the last pick in the draft. You get a B, Huck-Porty. You have exceeded expectations. Good for you. Tajon Salon here. Doesn't get a ton of burn. We're probably going to see him start to get some burn now that Grant Williams is down, right? But for the time being, he doesn't get a ton, and that's probably at expectations, right? Or do I... No, because he's the 6th overall pick, and he doesn't get burned, so... I'd say you have to go in the D for that. You get the D for that one. So yeah, that's where I'll put him. He is a project, though. I think everybody knew that coming in. I know the Hornets GMs were definitely aware of that. I mean, they're looking for people long-term that fit with the roster and stuff like that. I think he will. He's definitely like shot the ball at times better than what I expected. And man, I watch him move and everything. And I truly think he has the highest ceiling of anybody in this class. I truly, truly do. I just watch him move at the size and frame that he has. And I'm like, whoa, you do not find that every day. So very, very interesting here. And got some interesting ones to finish this off. Donovan Clingan hasn't been playing a ton. He's finally starting to, and I feel like he's getting better. So we're going to say he's been meeting expectations. He had that awesome stat, that box score the other day where he had 0 points, 1 assist, 4 blocks, 19 rebounds. I was like, hell yeah, Donovan Clingan. I love that. That's awesome. He's definitely getting more comfortable. I thought he was a little passive when he first got in, and I think the team honestly just looks better with him in than Ayton, if I'm being honest with you. I know they're not necessarily winning any more games. It's early in the season, so it's just a skewed statistic to begin with, but overall, I think the team just gels a little bit better with a guy that's not just standing in the middle of the court. I don't think it's that hard to look better, but I think the team looks better with him, and I think long term you can have something here. So that's what I would say. Rob Dillingham now hasn't gotten a ton of burn for being the level of pick that he is. There's a lot of good players on the team, so I don't want to fault him too much. I'm going to give him a D for this. He is a young point guard, and that's hard. He had a good scoring night the other night, so I'm sure somebody's going to be like, Rob Dillingham's been better than that. Like, he hasn't played at all. If Terrence Shannon went here, he also gets to go here, right? I think that's fair. Long term, I love the fit with him in Minnesota. I think it makes a lot of sense. Do I think he's a long-term starting point guard? I just don't know. I maybe more so see him as like the scoring guard coming off the bench for forever, and that's fine. Like, we need guys like that, like just a little microwave spark plug, dude. You need guys like that, so that's awesome. Clearly, he can create for himself, and he can score at an NBA level. I'm sure the efficiency is going to be up and down and stuff, because there's going to be times where he tries to go in the paint just a little bit too far instead of doing like one of those little floaters he does, and he's going to get his shit knocked out of the sky just because he's very small, and defensively he's going to struggle too, but I like Dillingham overall. I think he'll be okay. And then Zach Edey, he's definitely been above expectations. He's never been like a killer, because like, here's the thing, like, all his buckets are just like him being tall and cleaning things up, and that's great. Like, that's the ability he has over people, and you guys have heard me say I think he's more of a gimmick type player, and that's probably where I'd say he fits in. Like, he's had a lot of foul trouble this year and stuff, and there's been times where he does play really, really well, and he gets some post buckets and everything, but also nobody's focusing in on him right now either, and he's not taking great shots, but he's making hard ones, so fair enough. I have to at least put him in B, though. Have to at least put him in B, and I think that that's fair. So overall, this is what we got. We've got a select few people that are in the Rookie of the Year conversation right now. I wouldn't say any of them are playing elite basketball. Jared McCain was for like a stretch or whatever, but even then there was some kind of bleh stuff going on in there. But Connect's been solid, right? Wells has been solid. So those are your guys. You got some people that are exceeding expectations. I can't make that clear enough. It's not like these are the next 6 best rookies, right? I would say these are the best 3 rookies right now playing, but after that, like, these guys they exceeded expectations so far. We've met expectations here a little bit below. They have not been good so far. Like, I don't know. It hasn't been good necessarily. So and then we have the injured / not play that we expected to not play. So I don't know, you guys let me know down in the comments. I'm sure you will. These grading videos always entice people to comment things, and that's a little bit why I'm doing it. I was wondering if this was too early for things, but I looked and I recorded this video even earlier last year, so I was like, shit, okay, let's do it. I'll just say way too early draft eval or something like that. But anyway, I appreciate you guys as always. Leave a like, leave a comment. We'll talk to you guys later. Thanks so much.